Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. This week I've been doing so many things, just a lot of different little things that all packed my week into a very busy week. So quickly dive into the intro and let's talk about all the stuff I have done and allegedly, or maybe haven't done. Depends on who you ask, I guess, but I'm gonna tell you the story, how it was, my week as a game developer, after the intro. Yeah, great intro. We should write these down and script these things. So the first thing I did this week is my website. I redesigned it somewhat. I did this in last August. I think I mentioned it on the videos, but I wasn't really happy with how it all turned out. So I thought I would spend my Sunday fixing it. I was afraid I had to create a whole new template or find a new template or theme. I'm using WordPress, but luckily I didn't. I could actually modify the current theme I had, change the colors a bit, add a little slider on the front page, and just fix a couple of other things, and only had to write a little bit of code. For example, if we go to a store or a page of a game, this looks a lot like Steam. I know it looks a lot like Steam. That's kind of the idea, because a lot of people browsing the website will be PC gamers. But if you look at this on your mobile phone, this stuff will be underneath and it still works. So I kind of like how this all looks. It's very clean. It has all the details. It has Steam download links. And let me show you another game that has a bit more download links, like Residual. Download from Steam, itch, Switch, Android, iOS, Atari VCS, it's all mentioned there. This stuff is all custom made by me. I created all that code so that it all links and ties together, and if I change a theme on WordPress I can still use this code. So it's like a plugin, but just for me and nobody else. And now I'm kind of happy with how the website looks. I also want to start posting more on the website, because it just looks that good. So we have a blog as well. I have devlogs here already for the updates I did for the games like Residual, Regulated City. I want to start posting more like I used to do. Even though these videos are great, oftentimes it's a lot easier to browse through a text, or I can actually dive into more details in a text or a blog or a post. So I might start doing that if I ever find time to do anything else besides the stuff I've already been doing. Okay, and you might be wondering, Pascal, it's 2023, why are you working on a website? Honestly, I know social media is great, it's perfect, it's awesome, it's amazing, but recent stuff happening around Twitter, I'm not sure Twitter is going to be around in another year. Then we have all that stuff going around about TikTok being banned in certain countries. Facebook, nobody really uses Facebook anymore. Social media is great and you should use it as much as possible, but you also need your own base, something that's yours and can't be taken away by governments or other big company type things just as they want to. Your own website will stay there. It's a great way for people to still find you and contact you, and you can put all your social media links on there, but it's yours and it can't just be taken away as long as you pay for your domain name and your website hosting. But yeah, I think a website is still interesting to have, and I just like how it looks, and this is my company. When I started Orangepixel in 2004, I never had an office or anything. I still don't have an office. This is it. My company is pretty much my website. For me, that's like my company. That's where everything I create lives. That's where you can contact me. That's where you can find me. That's where it's my company. It's there on the internet, and I just like to have that. Yeah, so I think a website still makes sense. All right, that's one of the things I've been doing this week. The other thing is Agents of Ooze is that third project I'm working on together with Nathan Haragoshi on the Discord. Come and say hi. He's doing all the artwork, I'm doing the game code. Together we're trying to come up with the game design. That has been a big problem for this project. It's also been slightly frustrating, I think, for both of us. But in any case, for me, I've started this project before I started Heroes of Loot 3 that I talked about last week. But Heroes of Loot 3 became a great game already in a very short time. much faster than this game, and that's frustrating to see. This can be such a cool project. The artwork is pretty. I mean, look at this. This. You want to play this. You want to dive into this world. However, the stuff that you were doing in the world wasn't interesting, and we already iterated through the core, the game loop, a couple of times. We changed it up, and it still wasn't working for some reason. That happens. Often when that happens to a project, I just ditch it and move on to something completely different. But there's more here, and we should try to get it up and running, and I don't want to quit on it. So this week I scheduled a couple of days to work on it, and honestly, I don't get very tired from game development. I mean, you're sitting here behind your computer just doing stuff. On Tuesday I was mentally empty. You can ask my wife about this. I didn't want to hear any talk. I didn't want to hear. I just needed a couple of hours to just get back and rest, because I've been destroying the whole game code, moving everything out of there, placing stuff back into it, rearranging stuff, reorganizing stuff, completely creating a different game. And not sure this is the right path, but it's promising, even though the last iteration was also promising, but just then didn't really deliver. This is, I think, more promising, and there's a lot of options we can do to this. So the core is pretty simple. It's sort of a survival tower defense genre mix thingy, and I like to always mix genres. I don't think we should stick to certain things. Grab a little bit from this and that and then combine it. You have your drill tower thingy, and then you'll have to defend that, and yeah, waves coming in, things like that. It's still, there are some details that need to be worked out, but getting all this up and running in 2 days, or yeah, 2 days was it was very tiring, but I managed to do it. We now have something that's very new and playable. It is different from what we had, and now we have to build on top of this to see if we can actually make it work. Though not being a traditional tower defense, but we'll have items like better defense objects, or towers that shoot at enemies, maybe robots that attack enemies, maybe some mine devices, or maybe some mines and bombs and stuff like that. I also think we should be mining something still. There is now a mining device in there, but that also mixes up the balance a little bit, so I'm not sure if that's one of the things we still need to figure out. And the way you do those things is pretty much get it up and running, play it a lot of times, and in your mind. This is pretty much how I also did games, invent games as a kid, and I'm pretty sure most kids do those things. If not, maybe that's where everything went wrong. But in my head, I would always make up my own game, or even if I had a deck of cards, I would just come up with some way to play it. I would pick certain type of cards, and those would be certain objects, and then other cards would, some sort of way I would always make up a game, or even with just a stick and a ball, I would come up with something. I think most kids, people, human beings do that at some point in their lives, and that's pretty much how at least I try to come up with a good game design. Just play it, tweak it a little bit in your head, try to figure out, alright, I'm doing this. Is it boring? Yes. What could I do to make it less boring? What would the game need to make this less boring? Could I be doing other tasks? Maybe I should do this, maybe I should be able to do that. Or what if this happens and then you have to do that? And by taking those ideas and then figuring out how it could go in your head, you then start implementing it into the game code and hope it actually works. I hope that made sense. It does to me, and that's very important. So I had planned to work a couple of days extra on this game this week, but something else happened that yeah, sorry, I had to leave this behind and jump back into Regulator City for the last day of the week. So if you're creating games, that sentence became difficult. If you're creating games, you're diving into your own game, you're playing your game constantly, and after 1 or maybe even almost 2 years on this game, I'm blinded for certain things. I know what the game is, I know what has to be done. I'm a veteran player of the game. Now, if you're a very brand new player of the game, you will notice certain things that you only notice if you're a new player. Now, often as a developer, you try to do beta tests or testing or whatever you want to call it, and then you ask some people to play the game and give you some feedback. Usually like 99.9% of that feedback is either bug mentions, I went through a wall and I couldn't get back, or this didn't work, or I couldn't find this and that. All good feedback, but it's not the type of feedback you really need. You really need the feedback that tells you, I got lost. I started the game and I had no clue what to do. I don't know what this means. I don't know where to find this or that item. I have no idea why I'm playing and what the purpose of the goal of the game is. Help. And that kind of feedback is valuable, like very important. Now, a buddy I know, SD, is a streamer, Twitch streamer, but he also started doing some sort of consulting for game developers. And I decided to try it out. What he pretty much does is he does a video like he's streaming to an audience, except the audience is just you as a developer. He preferably plays the game for the first time, and he will just tell you what he thinks. He has a lot of experience as he plays like 300 or 400 mostly indie games a year. He knows what the audience wants, he knows what players want, he knows what to expect. So there's a very different type of feedback you're getting from him. I figured I'd try it, so he got a copy of Regulated City, did a video for me, which was 1.5 hours long, I think. I browsed through the whole video, or at least right now I got up to the first 20 minutes, and there were already so many things that I could improve on, and it's very silly things that as a developer I just go, and as a developer I know these things. I look at them and I think, yeah, okay, but I can just figure it out. Or for example, the tutorial level had enemies spawning at you sometimes. As a gamer who knows the game, I think I'm just gonna shoot these guys and move on. But if this is the first time you're playing the game, you haven't even gone through the tutorial yet, you have no idea what you're doing, and then suddenly everything is happening around you. There's enemies spawning, there are pickup happening. If you pick it up, you suddenly level up, and you still haven't actually managed to complete the tutorial. You have no idea what's going on. A lot of stuff happened at the start of his video, and fixing those things was like maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes. It's fairly easy to fix them. I was just completely blind for them being an issue. I knew they happened, I just didn't think it was a big problem. So testing like this really opened my eyes to a lot of other stuff as well. Of course, certain things happened. I know those happen and they are much more difficult to fix, like enemies not doing the things you expect, or certain enemies moving to the wrong direction, or your squad just being there not helping out. Those are little bugs, sort of bugs, but also things I managed to play around as a developer. I know these things happen, so by doing this I know it will fix itself and my squad will follow me. I have to be more careful about those things and have to actually dive into those things and fix them, which is a completely different mindset that I'm now in. Right now I've been working on Regular City, fixing those things he mentioned. Still a bunch of things that need improvement, but yeah, this was very valuable information for me. So again, this is not an advertisement, just helping out a buddy. He's starting to grow this as a sort of business, consulting business. So check the link in the description, contact him on Twitter or Twitch or whatever. He has a very decent price for indie developers, and I get a lot of offers in my mailbox from various services and companies, and they always say indie friendly prices, and then they add 2 or 3 zeros at the end that just don't make sense for indie developers. This one is actually sensibly priced, and it's valuable and it's worth it. So if you got a game that's not done yet but very far in development and certain stage that you can still change and tweak things and improve them, give him a shout and tell him I said hi. Maybe that helps you or me or him or whatever. That's how we all should help each other in the business. So yeah, I've been working on Regular City the rest of the week, and after this video is done, I will continue work on Regular City a bit, because there's still a couple of things I know I can easily fix and make the game so much better. Then I could push a new demo to you, so that you can also experience the much more improved Regulated City, coming to Steam pretty soon. Now, during all this stuff, I also managed to get the Heroes of Loot Gauntlet of Power demo up on Steam. I talked about this last week, so check out the Steam page for that. You can wishlist the game, but you can also play it. Warning, this is a very early demo stage I'm in. This is like early days. There's a bunch of stuff not there. There's a bunch of stuff that is there, but not fleshed out to be nice and polished and shiny and perfectly working. There are a lot of weapons, but they pretty much almost are the same except for little speed differences and things like that. I will get to all those things, but it does give you a great sense of where this game is heading towards. I had some good commentary and feedback already on the demo. People seem to enjoy it and like it. Nathan did a little stream on the Discord and everybody was saying it was too difficult, stranding at dungeon 3 or 4, but he managed to somehow overpower himself and he quit at dungeon 7 because he was just... demo simply wasn't throwing enough difficulty at him at that point. He had all the weapons, he had them upgraded pretty well, and he could just pretty much defeat every room. So do check out the demo, and I'll be juggling all these projects the rest of the year as I have been doing so far. So working on Regular City, then a little bit on Heroes of Loot, then the Agents of Ooze, and then we still have Heroes of Loot 2 coming to the Atari VCS later this month. I need to do some fixes and tweaks on Sir Questionnaire for Switch. I'll talk about that pretty soon because it could be an interesting video. It just needs a little bit of interface redesign. Then we can release that on Switch. And we're starting to look back into PlayStation and Xbox versions that died off a little bit because just so many things going on. But we need to make sure that those games are happening. Got so many games ready and they can all be pushed to PlayStation and Xbox if we do just a little bit amount of work to figure it all out. Serious Lion, of course, doing the porting work, the code stuff. I'll be handling the back end of the consoles, and if I figure out the flow, the workflow of how those things work, it should be easy or fairly easy to push out new games, and maybe even at a monthly rate. We have the games ready, we just need to get everything else up and running. So there's a lot of stuff that still has to happen this year. But I'm enjoying myself very much with all these things and of course these videos. So thanks for watching this one. Like, subscribe, comment below, hop on the Discord, come say hi, come chat, talk about everything, pop culture, games, music. We don't talk a lot about music. We should talk more about music. We also talk about movies, TV shows and life. So hop on the Discord, come say hi, and I will see you next week's video. Every Thursday a new video comes online. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about next week, but I'm sure there's gonna be a video. I hope. Alright, bye.